Hello, good evening, Jigyasu.
Good evening, sir.
Am I audible and visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought you are coming by 8:30. So I just
Those are
went away. No problem. I'm happy to see you.
yes,
Welcome
sir.
on behalf of KingMakers IAS Academy.
Thank
My
you,
name
sir.
is S.S. Jabbar. I belong to 1984 batch, Tamil Nadu IAS cadre, and I
Yes, sir.
retired as Principal Secretary. I'm in this trade for the past 10 years. That's a small intro about me.
Yes, sir.
And this one-on-one, it will be very unique in the sense it's a morale booster for the candidate. And number two, it'll have where you have your doubt clearance session. That's very, very important. So the
Yes, sir.
first we'll have on some questions on your DAF, some current affairs. Then we'll go for doubt clearance. Then we'll have feedback. I'll give feedback from my side. You can give feedback from your side about the program. So there
Yes,
is
sir.
always scope for improvement for both of us, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Jingyasu, can you make a small introduction about yourself to the parent members?
So my name is Jigyasu Agrawal. I belong to Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. I have completed my Masters of Science and Technology in Applied Geology from Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad. Post that, sir, I have worked in as management trainee in Coal India Limited in CMPDI division, where I was working in exploration of coal in Chandrapur area of Maharashtra. Presently, sir, I'm working as hydrogeologist in VALPS Geotechnical Private Limited Company.
Very good.
Also, sir, I have published a paper on mass balance of Gangotri Glacier using remote sensing technology. And
Yes.
sir, I am very passionate about wildlife.
Very good. Nice introduction. And you belong to Narsingpur
Sir,
or
that is my
Jabalpur?
birth. That is my birthplace, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. But you are otherwise you are attached to Jabalpur. You are in Jabalpur.
Yes, sir. I am presently living in Jabalpur, sir. Narsingpur is a
Okay.
neighboring district.
Neighboring. Okay. You are born there.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me some political scenario about your district, Jabalpur?
Surely, sir. So may I take a moment to think about this?
Yeah, please. Yes.
Sir, Jabalpur, when it comes to state elections, Jabalpur holds multiple constituencies, 7 or 8. I'm not very sure about the numbers, sir. Recently, elections were conducted in my state, and most of the seats were won by the BJP. Although it has been traditionally a stronghold of Congress as well, and it has been very politically active historically as well, sir. The non-cooperation movement as well as the civil disobedience movement was very actively participated by Jabalpurians in that time. And sir, when it comes to the national level politics, we have a Lok Sabha seat in Jabalpur, and Mr. Rakesh Singh was the former member of parliament from this area who belonged to BJP. Also, one of the most important point here, sir, is that it's a municipal corporation area, so the local body elections are also very significant here.
Very good. Very good, Jigyanshu. Recently, the elections have been held and the two deputy CMs were appointed, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, two deputy chief ministers were appointed.
Yes, sir.
There is a constitutional provision for deputy chief ministers.
I'm sorry, sir. I do not remember the exact constitutional provision. But sir, I do remember that when the first elections, Lok Sabha elections were fought, Sardar Patel was appointed as deputy prime minister at that time.
Yeah, very much. But there is no provision for specific post of deputy prime minister or deputy chief minister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So a deputy prime minister or a deputy chief minister will have the role and responsibilities of a council of members. That is a cabinet minister.
Yes, sir.
This is a convention where they would like to nominate some senior members.
Yes, sir.
There are, because a country, diverse country like India, it will have to satisfy the needs of so many groups of people. So the pressure groups you have studied, right?
Yes,
so in order to kind of manage them, this situation is being adopted. So you can very well say the deputy chief minister or deputy prime minister is not mentioned in the constitution specifically.
Yes, sir.
But it is conventionally followed, and it has got the validity of the role and responsibility of a cabinet minister.
Yes,
See,
sir.
sometimes even small questions will have quite a
Yes, sir.
lot of this kind of a meaning. Okay, very good.
Yes,
You
sir.
studied in, your father is a professor.
Yes, sir.
Does he teach, what does he teach?
Sir, he is presently retired. He used to
Aha,
teach organic chemistry.
organic chemistry. Okay, very good. And, there is a NIRF, National Institution Ranking Framework.
Yes, sir.
You heard about it? That various institutions are ranked.
Yes, sir.
Do you find this ranking is absolutely correct? Maybe it's very difficult to recall them, but try to recall. My question is not relating to any factual,
Mm-hmm.
more analytical, right?
Sir,
You remember
correct in this.
You remember NIRF?
I do know that, sir.
Yeah,
Can I understand the question properly, sir? I mean,
yeah,
are you?
yeah.
I.
The question is
Mm-hmm.
that ranking being done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Is that ranking done fairly?
I think so, sir. There are objective parameters on which the institutions are ranked. And I also do remember that one of the parameters includes a feedback from the teachers as well as the students.
Hmm.
So I believe that it gets a genuine feedback in that sense.
Yeah,
And thus the ranking are absolutely objective.
yeah. Because they also mentioned about infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
But where the government level, it will be very difficult to match the infrastructure level. So that is where sometimes accepting institution like IIT, they get that attention.
Mm-hmm.
NITs get it, but you don't get that kind of attention in other colleges and institutions.
I do
So
understand that, sir.
that's one, what you call, level playing field is not there. But otherwise, they follow a system
Yes, sir.
where they are, provision even for perception of the people
Yes, sir.
about that institution is one
Yes.
such.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, may I add one point with respect to that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sir, I do believe that there is a funding constraint that is a problem in our education system. But
Yes.
recently, sir, we have formed this national research foundation, if I am not wrong, which is supposed to fund the research in these organizations. Also, sir, various steps have been taken by the government to bridge this funding constraint, and private sector participation has also been sought for this. So, if that is pursued objectively and accurately, then I think this funding constraint can be bridged upon.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because funding should not be a constraint, where the institution should be allowed free hand,
Yes, sir.
so that they can have a lot of industry business collaboration.
Yes, sir. Sir, if I may add one more point here, sir. I
Yes.
was recently speaking to one of my father's friend who is a professor. He
Mm.
told me that when GST was brought in, they conducted a workshop for the local businessmen in their college, and that is how they were able to garner some funds. So I think that was a very innovative step that was taken by a local college, and such steps need to be taken on more by other colleges as well.
Exactly. That depending on only outside funds or only the students' contribution,
Yes, sir.
the institutions can have their own methods of generating funds.
Yes, sir.
Like they can, attract some corporate social responsibility CSR funding.
Yes, sir.
Some kind of a research funding is available.
Yes, sir.
So they can take up those market research or any scientific research by which, they can have more money
Yes, sir.
instead of merely depending upon the doles by the government.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the problem with our institution. We should also come out and join hands with the people who have money.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. You studied in Kendriya Vidyalaya.
Yes, sir.
So what is the difference between a Kendriya Vidyalaya and the other CBSE institutions?
Sir, Kendriya Vidyalayas are operated by the central government, the Ministry of Education directly. While on the other hand, CBSE is an affiliation provided by the NCERT that can be provided to private sector, private educational institutions as well. So that is the difference, sir.
Very good. Why should I have a Kendriya Vidyalaya?
Sir, initially, as far as I remember, the need was sought because there were many central government employees who could be
Yes.
transferred from one state to the another, and thus the gap in education for their children should not be a hindrance. That was one of the reasons for which Kendriya Vidyalayas were created. But now, sir, they are, in my understanding, they are also being created as benchmark institutions and schools in their areas.
Yes. Yes, they have become, islands of prominence and islands of excellence.
Yes,
So
sir.
that way, we should appreciate the endeavor the efforts made by number of Kendriya Vidyalayas.
Yes, sir.
When I was collector, I was the chairman of Kendriya Vidyalaya, 2 Kendriya Vidyalayas in Madurai.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is, you see how sometimes the questions will come.
Yes, sir.
Immediately when I see the Kendriya Vidyalaya I have studied, I
Yes, sir.
try to raise a question from your desk,
Yes,
which
sir.
you would not have anticipated.
Yes, sir.
That's the very idea, because you do not know what goes in somebody's mind
Yes, sir.
when they ask, take up your DAF and ask questions.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And you studied at IIT
Yes, sir.
and ISM,
Yes, sir.
Dhanbad. So
Yes, sir.
having selected a specialized program like geology, what inspired you or what made you change your thoughts to civil service?
Sir, in my understanding, civil services provides one with leadership opportunities and responsibilities at very early stage of career,
Very good.
through which a person can make impact on a larger scale in comparison to what one can do with particularly working in geology. So that was one of the reasons why I aspired for civil services, sir.
Very good. Can you tell me some 3 qualities in you that you see that you are suitable for civil service?
So firstly, I am very analytical. I try to analyze all the perspective of a problem before coming to a conclusion. Secondly, sir, I am a very people-friendly person. I am empathetic to the needs of the people. I try to understand their emotions, their sufferings, their problems before trying to find a solution for it. Thirdly, sir, I believe that I am a good communicator. I am a good public speaker, which helps me convey my message to people.
Very good. Now the question comes, what are the qualities of a public speaker? You
Sir,
understand how the conversation can take place.
yes, sir.
But it's a
Yes,
good
sir.
thing. You can always drop in your conversation
Yes, sir.
something which is comfortable for you,
Yes, sir.
not for the sake of saying.
Yes, sir.
That is why I put this question.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to drive the entire board to your side, you
Yes,
can
sir.
always plan what is best for you.
Yes, sir.
So when the question comes from the other side, it is easy for you to answer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now
Yes, sir.
tell me, what are the qualities of a public speaker?
So, firstly, a public speaker should be confident about himself or herself.
Good.
Secondly, they should understand the mindset of the crowd to which they are speaking. Thirdly, they should devise their content in a manner which is appealing to the people whom they are speaking to. I think these are the 3 very important considerations that a public speaker should take before giving any public speech.
Very good. And the most important thing, any public speaker should draw the attention of the people within a span of 3 to 5 minutes.
Yes,
if you are
sir.
making a large speech. Otherwise, even if you are making a 3-minute speech, it should within 30 seconds you should create an impact.
Yes, sir.
So that they make them involved in your speech process.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And when we are talking about higher education in India, there is a need for increasing both the quality and the quantity of higher education. What can be done?
Sir, firstly, to increase the quantity, I think that the new education policy had a framework, 3-tier framework for creating more educational institutions in higher education system, where they were creating colleges at local level, and then there were research institutions, and then there were higher educational institutions which were doing multidisciplinary field of education as well as research. With respect to quality, sir, I think there are multiple things that are needed to be done here. Firstly, we need to, as we talked about, we need to bridge the funding constraint. Secondly, sir, more innovative researches need to be taken up, for which more independence need to be granted to institutions as well as researchers and teachers there. Thirdly, sir, an accountability framework is also necessary here, for both the students as well as the teachers. And lastly, sir, infrastructural gap. I think that there is a need to bridge that infrastructural gap. One more point I would like to add here, sir, is the industry academia connect that we were talking about. I think that practical researches in education need to be brought into our educational system to increase the quality.
You know, we are talking always about enrollment ratio.
Yes, sir.
At national level, it is 27%.
Yes, sir.
Higher education.
Yes, sir.
So every state it differs. State to state it varies. Particularly southern states have a higher enrollment.
Yes, sir.
Higher enrollment. Okay, that's for you can understand the reason.
Mhm.
But here, when we have only 27% in higher education enrollment,
Mhm.
we have a large number of engineering graduates not able to get employment.
Yes, sir.
Is it not a paradoxical when we wanted to increase the enrollment on one side,
Mhm.
where you find large number of engineering graduates without jobs?
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, sir. Sir, it is paradoxical, but there are reasons for it. Sir, various reports have suggested that the employability status of our engineers is not up to the mark. So that implies that we are lacking in providing appropriate skills to our engineers, which are required in the industry. But then, sir, there is another side to this as well. The other side is that we need to have more, our economy needs to have more opportunities for our engineers as well. There is also a case that our economy is not able to provide appropriate opportunities to the engineers we are producing at the moment. So for that, we need to bring in more, we need to bring growth in our manufacturing sector, for example. Our economy is slightly more skewed towards the services sector, particularly the IT industry. And that is where we need to diversify so that the engineers that whom we are creating can get employment. So I think both ways are efforts are needed.
Very good. Good. Now you are given one more clue about, India should become the global manufacturing hub.
Yes, sir.
That is what you aspire to.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So our importance need to be given shift from service to manufacturing sector should come.
Yes, sir.
When you cannot find, you need to have bigger market for your product.
Yes, sir.
Unless you have bigger markets in your product,
Mhm.
creating more manufacturing goods for local consumption, will it be advisable?
So, firstly, that we are a demand-driven economy. We have a
Yeah.
huge population which provides us that consumption-driven engine for our economy, and that is one part. But yes, as you rightly pointed out, that we do need to explore other markets as well. So our export potential needs to be enhanced, and for that, I think that various emerging economies are there. For example, Africa is one of those regions where the incomes are rising at a very fast rate. So I think that and a foreign trade policy that was recently formulated, sir, that
Yes.
also has specific guidelines for specific regions. For example, South America, Africa, Europe. So we need to formulate those strategies, nuanced strategies, so that our export potential can be enhanced there.
Very good. As when you are talking about marketing, manufacturing sector, you must do the competitiveness is global competitiveness is something important.
Yes, sir.
The global competitiveness comes only from competitive prices.
Yes, sir.
Number two, quality.
Yes, sir.
Definitely we can ensure about the quality, but the price need to come down.
Yes, sir.
You cannot beat a Chinese price. You cannot
Yes,
beat
sir.
a Taiwanese price.
Yes,
You
sir.
cannot beat Vietnam price.
Yes, sir.
That is the real situation in
Yes,
India.
sir. Yes, sir.
And that is why, there is a keyword, what do you call, promoting of service sector, because the service sector is something where we are dominating.
Yes, sir.
So we are able
Yes, sir.
to get, but it's a kind of that's why it's a paradox.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We want to become a manufacturing hub,
Yes, sir.
so that we can cater to employment of a large number of population.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The other side where we get opportunities in the service sector.
Yes, sir.
But at a point of time where we'll have to side by side develop both of them. There is
Yes, sir.
no point in neglecting when you are able to, because your GDP growth depends on service sector.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is the contribution of manufacturing sector to the GDP?
Sir, it is around 20%, sir.
Yeah,
The
it's about some 27%, something like that. So maximum you will see that it is provided more than 50% by the service sector.
Yes, sir.
But it may not be employing such a large number of people.
Yes, sir.
And
so may I add a point here?
Yeah, please.
So in my knowledge, the manufacturing sector contributes 20%. The secondary sector overall contributes 27%, because the Make in India's target was to bring manufacturing sector to 25%, which has not been achieved yet.
Yes, right. But what you're talking primary is agriculture.
Yes, sir.
This is a secondary. right?
Yes, sir.
So
Second.
tertiary is a service sector, but service
Yes, sir.
sector provides more. Maybe
Yes,
it's
sir.
18 or 20.
Yes,
But
sir.
the problem is making into a manufacturing sector has a long way to go.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You have
sir.
a global competition to meet. Where in
Yes,
our
sir.
service sector, we don't have such kind of a big competition because we are
Yes, sir.
the superpower as regard to the software is concerned.
Yes, sir.
Maybe
Yes, sir.
today China is way ahead because we cannot speak that in a forum like this. But
Yes,
still,
sir.
you cannot compare yourself with China and try to diminish ourselves before China. But
Yes, sir.
China's growth has started much early.
Yes, sir.
Started way back in 60s and 70s. We
Yes, sir.
started opening up our economy only in 90s. So
Yes,
there
sir.
is always a difference. But
Yes, sir.
comparing China's manufacturing was taken much earlier. Today it is
Yes, sir.
dominating.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Suppose you wanted to take away China product from US, then your products must be more quality oriented and also competitive in price.
Contribute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in
Yes,
this
sir.
price competition, I could find that there is a issue relating to logistics.
Yes, sir.
Government brought national logistics policy.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is the objective of this policy? Are we achieving it?
So the primary objective was to bring down the logistic prices, and
Good.
secondly, that to create quality infrastructure, logistic based infrastructure, for example, warehouses, transportation system, so
Yes.
that we can reduce the time and cost overruns
Yes.
that are presently happening in providing these services. And sir, it is too soon to say that whether it is succeeding or not, because the policy was very recently brought in. But
Yes.
steps had been taken prior to this as well. We can see those steps being manifesting in the food processing sector, sir, where the Pradhan Mantri Sampada scheme was implemented in a hub and spoke model kind of system, and
Yes.
it has reaped some benefits for us. The agricultural processing that is happening in our country has increased, and our exports have also increased, particularly in the marine products due to
Yes.
it. So, sir, if similar efforts are replicated in this particular policy, then I think that we can bring down those logistic costs. And one
Very
more
good.
point here, sir, is that we were
Yes.
recently talking about the competitiveness.
Yes.
So, sir, in low-end manufacturing, our competition is now not with China, but rather it is with Bangladesh, Myanmar, Taiwan, not even Taiwan, Vietnam, etc. And the main reason why their prices are so low, one is labor cost, and second is that their logistic costs are lower. Bangladesh utilizes its inland waterways to a huge extent in comparison to us. So, sir, we need to find these innovative ways to utilize to bring down those our logistic costs.
Yeah. Very good. As you said, the logistic cost in developed Western and European countries is somewhere around 8%.
Yes, sir.
But India, it is still somewhere 14%. So
14%.
the
Yes,
very
sir.
objective is to bring on par with the Western country.
Yes, sir.
So automatically your cost, your competitiveness in price will come up once you are able
Yes,
to
sir.
manage your logistic issues.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is why we have to go for multimodal transit, and the last mile transit needs to be
Connectivity.
done.
Yes, sir.
For example,
Yes, sir.
in Vietnam, when the product is being finished, it takes only 24 hours to reach either an airport or a railway station.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that be possible in India? It's possible, but we need to what you call last mile connectivity and also
Yes,
the
sir.
punctuality. You have to reach if the road is not connected by 1 kilometer,
Yes, sir.
there is
Yes,
a
sir.
problem.
Yes, sir.
Then the train cannot stop. If you are
Yes,
going
sir.
to hold the train, the
Yes, sir.
entire process gets delayed.
Yes,
You
sir.
have seen in Western countries, that's why they follow the punctuality.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is
Yes, sir.
not been done in India because of various reasons. We
Yes,
are
sir.
developing infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
Why I brought it? Because you have mentioned about this thing. As you said, it is China is no more competitive in price because of the increase in labor cost.
Labor cost. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Even in India also, the cost of labor is going up.
Yes, sir.
You cannot keep the labor cost so cheap
Yes,
as they
sir.
do in Bangladesh for textile workers
Yes, sir.
or in Vietnam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's the problem. If you have, the labor unions have no say at all most of
Yes,
the
sir.
place
Yes, sir. Yes,
because
sir.
the democracy, it's not a even in India they are not saying it's a full-fledged democracy. So you can understand there the control will be better because smaller areas.
Yes, sir.
So Bangladesh, they are able to use the women force,
Yes, sir.
larger scale in
Yes,
textile
sir.
industries.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes, sir.
a very important reason. So
Yes, sir.
that's very important. And India is the cusp of reaping demographic dividends,
Yes, sir.
right? And do you think three things that we need to do? Can you tell me three things that we need to do to reap the fruits of demographic dividends?
Sir, apart from the conventional educational skill health framework, that has to be there. That has to
Very
be
good.
there. But apart from this, there are some more steps that we need to take.
Hmm.
One of the primary step is women empowerment. Sir, if we keep 50% or more of our workforce, our productive population out of the workforce or create barriers for that, we are not going to go anywhere. So that is one place that we need to step up our efforts on. Second is, sir, that our demographic dividend is skewed. It's not homogeneous across the country. So the southern states are aging faster, and Kerala and Tamil Nadu are already way past their demographic dividend. On the other hand, the northern states are still young.
Hmm.
So, sir, we need to balance this labor force, and for this, we need to create more mobility for the laborers, so that they can move from the northern states to the southern states, where more industries can come up, and then laborers can come from the northern India. So, for this, sir, we need to bring in some schemes like One Nation, One Ration Card, One
Hmm.
Nation, One Dispensary, so that the benefits of these schemes can be provided to those laborers who are moving from the northern states to the southern states. I think
Yes,
these are some additional steps that we need to take.
very good. I'm very happy that you are touched about the women, because many people I have asked, because they always talk about education, skill set, health, employment, and economic independence, or economic independence, or whatever you call it. But
Mhm.
they are very important, but we forget to talk about women.
Yes, sir.
When they are 50%,
Yes,
and
sir.
we keep them uneducated,
Yes,
we
sir.
keep them unemployed, we keep them economically not dependent on others, then
Yes, sir.
how do you foresee that we will be able to take advantage of the demographic dividend?
Yes, sir.
Mere numbers are not going to be useful unless the numbers are converted into employable person,
Yes,
a
sir.
skilled person.
Yes,
That's
sir.
very, very, very important, as you have mentioned. Of course, you have given a very good answer. I am trying to, take one cue from your own answers.
Yes, sir.
Now, when we are talking about women, what do you think the status of uh, the women's health condition in India in general? You can refer to the survey, National Family Health Survey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, I don't remember all the exact data points,
Then,
but I
in an interview, you don't need to give out all those data, because that is not a area we expect. Because if like when I mentioned, I could recall the numbers.
yes, sir.
The 8% developed countries, ours
Yes,
the
sir.
14.
Yes, sir.
If you ask me, I would remember IASC Bangalore standing number one.
Yes, sir.
But here it is not, numbers that is very important. Trend.
Yes, sir. Trend.
Then your own take. Then what are your merits, demerits? This is the way our discussion should go in
Yes, sir.
a intellectual manner. So that is what
Yes,
we
sir.
expect.
Yes,
So
sir.
there is no
Yes, sir.
need. I just want you to recollect if there is any trends,
Yes, sir.
not
Yes,
really
sir.
relating to percentages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, with respect to the health challenges, uh, we can look at it in the life cycle manner of a woman.
Hmm.
So, a female child firstly suffers issues like female infanticide, female feticide, which I believe are health challenges because healthcare institutions are involved in that.
Yes.
Secondly, sir, then when they move on up to adolescent stage, there are problems of anemia in women. Uh, 57%, I think, of our women are anemic at the moment, which is a significant number. Thirdly, sir, then there are issues with respect to maternal health care. The infant mortality rate, the maternal mortality rate in our countries is still very high, although it is decreasing. We are surely on a hopeful path, but yes, it is still very high. And sir, lastly, when it comes to old age, then sir, we know that naturally women live longer than men, and that is where health concerns arise for women in that age group as well. For example, arthritis is there, And then there are other kind of issues. Breast cancer is one of the things. Cervical cancer is one of the things that is increasing in our country. I was recently talking to this cancer expert who was telling me that the rates of cervical cancer in our country is exponential, and it is particularly concentrated in some of these regions. For example, the northeastern region, for example, the Delhi, Punjab, Haryana belt. So these are some of the key concerns and challenges that we need to focus upon to improve the health of women.
Very good. I'm happy. Number one, you have mentioned about anemia. Anemia is a major problem because if you are anemic, you are going to get an anemic child.
Yes,
An
sir.
anemic child is not going to be healthy, so they may not contribute much to the economic development in the manufacturing or production side.
Yes, sir.
We also, you can add, stunting and wasting among
Yes, sir.
children. It's very
Child
high.
stunt. Yes, sir.
Child stunting and wasting is very high,
Yes,
particularly
sir.
women. It's much higher. Always they are neglected a lot. So at
Yes,
least
sir.
at this point of time, we have our policies and programs such a way that side by side, when we develop these women, they contribute better for the economy, and
Yes, sir.
naturally a healthy woman will beget a healthy child, so that
Yes,
we
sir.
end the cycle of unhealthiness.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere we stop it and we bring it to them. A new beginning will be there.
Yes, sir.
Good. And you studied about the Gangotri Glacier.
Yes, sir.
It's a melting of what do you call mass
Balance, sir.
mass balance. So, what is this study about? What is your finding?
Sir, the study concerns with the change in mass of the glacier, the Gangotri Glacier. As we know that because of global warming, there have been various reports that our glaciers are melting at a very fast rate, faster than that they naturally can regenerate themselves. And so because of this, the snout position of the glacier is receding and it is losing mass. Now, sir, our studies reveal the same pattern as other studies, that Gangotri Glacier has receded by certain meters, 9 something meters is there. And then there is a million water equivalent. I don't remember the exact number at the moment, sir. But then it is also negative. The mass balance is also negative. So this is specifically relevant because our glaciers feed our rivers, the perennial rivers. And then they are the major source of fresh water for our northern plains.
Yes.
So, sir, the whole hydrology of our northern plains is linked to these glaciers. That is why we need to monitor their health consistently, sir.
Very good. Very good answer. And do you think that it is not restricted to Gangotri alone?
Yes, sir.
It's happening in Antarctica also.
Yes, sir. It is happening
Can you,
across the world. It is happening
can you
not
tell me
just
what
in
is
India.
happening in Antarctica?
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, many of the ice sheets in Antarctica have melted, and some of the ice sheets have broken away from the islands. For example, there was this Ross ice sheet, if I remember the name correctly, which broke away from Antarctica. So because of this melting that is taking place in Arctic as well as Antarctic, the living space for the organisms that live there is reducing at a fast rate. Secondly, at the sea level is rising. So multiple problems are being created because of this. And that is why it becomes a huge area of concern for our country as well as for small island development nations, developing nations.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you think, are we as a country showing our concern in this regard, taking efforts to reduce the problems of glaciers?
I think so, sir. Yeah, we are doing that. Sir, what the steps that we have taken concern with mitigation as well as adaptation when it comes to climate change. The problem of glaciers is a part of the problem of climate change that is happening. So on that hand, we have our Prime Minister, when he went to Glasgow, he pronounced our INDCs, intended nationally determined contributions,
Yes.
where we increased our contributions. The Panchamrit goals were provided by him. When it comes to adaptation, sir, I think that is the point that where we are still a little bit lacking. We recently saw what happened in Joshimath.
Yes.
What happened in Joshimath is somehow related to the part that climate change is taking is playing in this whole thing, and that is where we need to bring in more adaptation efforts, sir.
Very good. When you are brought in Joshimath now, Joshimath, was it related anywhere, a landslide or cloudburst or glacier, or what is the actual thing that took place in Joshimath?
So the immediate thing that took place in Joshimath was the sinking of the land.
Mm.
Cracks developed there, and the
Yes.
geological balance, the geotechnical balance of stresses was disturbed.
Yes.
But sir, it is related to the hydrology of the area, because when we studied the hydrology of the area, we found out that due to the melting of the glacier, increased melting of the glacier, there was a hydrological imbalance that was created there,
Yes.
and an aquifer got punctured firstly, and secondly, because the tourism got more than the carrying capacity of the area, the groundwater withdrawal from the soil of Joshimath was increased beyond the limit, which disturbed the stress situation there. So this is all, in my understanding, sir, this is all linked. We cannot look at it just as a land subsidence
I,
problem.
yes. Yes. Exactly. Geographically, they claim it as a land subsidence.
Yes, sir.
But land subsidence itself is not a phenomenon.
Yes, sir.
As you said, it is triggered by so many other factors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whatever you have mentioned is very good. You did, let's do it
Yes, sir.
program
Yes, sir.
in Dhanbad with civic cleanliness movement.
Yes, sir.
It's very good to have such movements, but there are some challenges in having such movements. What are the challenges?
So there are two or three major challenges for with respect to such movements. Firstly, sir, the amount of waste that is being generated, especially the plastic waste, is increasing day by day. So that creates an issue. But sir, the major problem is the awareness amongst the people. I'm really sorry, sir.
No problem. Please go ahead. No problem.
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah.
so one of the major problems is awareness amongst the people.
Yeah. Very good.
People are not
They,
aware about waste disposal properly. Second,
very good.
thirdly, sir, I think one of the major issues is with the municipalities, because
Hmm.
waste collection, waste segregation, and waste disposal is primarily their concern. They are lacking in capacity, and due to which this whole system is not working as it should work. Lastly, sir, last one major point which I think is important here, sir, is that with respect to waste disposal,
Hmm.
presently, sir, the way the waste is disposed is primarily either landfills or it is incinerated, which
Hmm.
are both not very environmentally sound practices.
Hmm.
Sir, we need to bring in major changes here. Recently, sir, one of these schemes that the government brought in was with respect to conversion of this waste to useful products,
Hmm.
waste to wealth, waste to energy,
Yes.
for which a circular economy was being proposed. I think we
Very,
need to move on towards that path, sir.
very good. So now you have brought in one more term, circular economy.
Yes, sir.
So can you connect the circular economy with the recent decision of the government on scrapping vehicle scrapping policy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you connect it with the circular economy?
Surely, sir. Sir, circular economy concerns with utilization of a product or a waste product up to its maximum extent, so
Very good.
that the final waste that is generated is minimized.
Good.
Sir, the vehicle scrappage policy exactly belongs in the same category, where they have provided specific guidelines by which vehicles older than a certain extent, I think 15 years or 10 years, I do not remember the exact years,
15
they,
years. After that,
yes, sir,
also private vehicles can operate, but
yes,
not
sir,
commercial vehicles.
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So,
Yeah.
sir, their scrapping has been facilitated so that the owner of the vehicle will get a certain cost, the terminal value of that vehicle, and the waste that is generated, the scrap, that can be again reutilized in different industries. For example, small scale steel plants can come up from it.
Very
So
good.
that is how government is tried to bridge it.
Very good. Most important product is steel,
Yes, sir.
because the steel, you need to go for iron ore to
Yes, sir.
be mined. As
Yes, sir.
mining of iron ore is highly costly one, and also
Yes,
it's
sir.
damaging environmentally.
Yes, sir.
Land, air, water pollution
Yes,
takes
sir.
place.
Yes, sir.
Steel industry is something where you need to burn quite a lot of energy is required. So again, we are using fossil fuel.
Yes,
Coal
sir.
is our major source in
Yes, sir.
our steel industry.
Yes, sir.
So in order to reduce that and bring in all those steel,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the rest of the thing may not have that value, but
Mm-hmm.
steel will be brought back
Yes,
into our
sir.
system. That's a
Yes,
very
sir.
good point with regard to the thing. Of course, we have environmental advantage, because vehicle exhaust will become less. So we have lesser greenhouse gases emitted
Yes,
by
sir.
the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And scrapping a old one also good, because after certain period, you will have a new ones will come in.
Yes, sir.
The sense of replacement of vehicle will
Yes, sir.
come in. That will
Yes,
be
sir.
good for an developing economy, because you
Yes, sir.
cannot hold a vehicle for 50 years.
Yes,
So
sir.
those days have gone. So
Yes,
that's a
sir.
good thing. And recently government decided to bring back 98%. Remember, 98% of the lithium ion batteries to be recirculated, recycled into the economy. I do not know how far it will be done, but this is the policy of the government. Why should they recycle up to 98% of lithium ion battery?
Sir, I do not know exactly, but then lithium-ion batteries are one of the major contributors to the e-waste that is
Is
generated
it?
in our country.
Okay, fine. Yeah, please go ahead.
And
I'll give the correction later.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, that is the first point. Secondly, sir, lithium is one of those elements, those critical elements that we are lacking, that we are importing presently. And that is how recycling lithium-ion batteries will help us get that lithium that we are importing presently from China. China is one of the largest, not the producer, but one of the largest participant in that supply chain of lithium-ion batteries.
Very good.
Which is why we are dependent on that, and for geostrategic reasons we need to create self-dependence. That could be one of the reasons that we are bringing in this policy, sir.
It is exactly the same point. You can make it. This is what we want you to make an intelligent guess, because there may be hundreds of smaller issues.
Yes,
But
sir.
why we are focusing on lithium is that
Yes, sir.
lithium is very critical rare earth mineral,
Yes, sir.
rare earth element, hard to get, and processing them becomes very difficult.
Yes, sir.
Environmental difficulties are there,
Yes,
and
sir.
it's dominated by China. So
Yes,
there
sir.
is we need to ensure what is called a resilient supply chain is very difficult to obtain.
Yes, sir.
That is why now in government is moving with the African countries
Yes,
and
sir.
South American countries,
South America.
Chile, Bolivia, Argentina. They are hub. So
Yes, sir.
we are moving them. Still, most of them are still owned by China.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is very difficult. So the government thinks that lithium, as much as possible, not to be wasted.
Yes,
So
sir.
you have the principle of extended producer's liability.
Yes, sir.
So under that principle, it can bring in more focus,
Yes,
so
sir.
that lithium ion battery life will be better than your mobile phone or your gadgets.
Yes,
So
sir.
we will retrieve them and use that lithium ion.
Yes, sir.
So that is why now they are making, you require recycling units,
Yes, sir.
recycling technologies.
Yes, sir.
It's very, very important, for which
Yes,
they
sir.
are working on a reverse side.
Yes, sir.
So how to procure them back? You will have a lot of incentives have to be given to them. So
Yes,
we are
sir.
trying to procure. Can you tell me, besides lithium, what are the other critical minerals that play a vital role in our economy?
Sir, apart from the conventional minerals, the critical minerals that were recently identified by the government, they included cobalt, nickel, lithium was there. Then there were many rare earth elements like niobium, yttrium, cerium.
Yes.
Apart from this, molybdenum.
Even copper is critical.
Yes, sir. Even copper is critical. I totally
That's
agree
a
with that, sir.
conductor.
Yes, sir. Yes,
The
sir.
major
Yes, sir.
conductor.
Yes, sir. So these are some of those critical minerals, sir.
Very good. So when you go through that 17 important minerals in your chart, you'll
Yes,
find
sir.
most of them are required.
Yes,
And
sir.
as a geologist, as a student of geology, right, I would like to call it, and with a man with a lot of experience on the hydrological cycle and geological study, recent findings of our GSI of a large deposit in Jammu and Kashmir, I always say it gives me a happiness on one side and jittery on the other. Are my feelings are right?
Sir, I think the feeling could be because the finding in the Riyasi district of Jammu and Kashmir, uh, it is tectonically not very stable area. Secondly, environmentally, it could be disastrous for the reason. These are some of the pictures that come to our mind when we think about mining of a product.
Very
But sir, sustainable mining is one of those things which is regularly being brought in the mining industry. So if those guidelines are followed accurately, for example, if environmental impact assessments are done, mitigation plans are formulated,
good.
and then later on rehabilitation efforts, restoration efforts of for the environment take place, then sir, we can have areas where environment and nature it regenerates very rapidly as fast as it is depleted. So we have to have a balance between economical gains and environmental conservation, sir.
Very good. So as regards when you are mentioning, you can always tell, because my happiness is because lithium is found. We need
Yes, sir.
not go. We can ensure, locally available lithium. But
Yes, sir.
merely finding it's not easy.
Yes, sir.
We need to mine them, then we need to produce them. For mining, it's environmentally very, very hazardous.
Yes, sir.
Number two, it's a what you call folded mountain, the young Himalayan folded
Yes,
mountain,
sir.
very what you call ecologically fragile in nature.
Yes, sir.
And you require what you call pure water
Yes,
for
sir.
mining. Otherwise, it will be very difficult.
Yes, sir.
So these are the environmental challenges. As you said,
Yes, sir.
today we need to depend on technology.
Yes, sir.
Even bioremediation is available for environmental
Yes,
degradation,
sir.
right?
Yes,
So
sir.
we can resort to any number of them. Maybe India will sooner or later should find the means and ways to explore them.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that Geological Survey of India report it's only an exploration report or it is an expedition report?
Sir, it is an exploration report, but as far as I know, it is the resource there is not yet proven. So we have not. It is not yet. It has not yet been brought into a reserve category. It is still a inferred resource.
Yes.
So more geological studies need to be conducted to find the accurate amount of lithium that is there and the forms in which it is found, and then feasibility reports need to be created. Yes, sir.
Very good. That's why we used to tell rare earth is not rare. Rare earth is found everywhere. But the problem is the concentration of rare earth is rare.
Exactly, sir.
And also the kind of location where they are very nearby, the easiness with which we will explore, because you are a mining expert.
Yes,
So
sir.
such questions can come.
Yes, sir.
So that is very important. Otherwise, you
Yes,
can
sir.
find silicon anywhere you can find. But
Yes,
how
sir.
about processing? How
Yes,
about the
sir.
gold? Why we have
Yes, sir.
closed many of our gold mines?
Yes,
Because
sir.
operatively it is costlier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's not only just a deposit, but we need
Yes,
to
sir.
find out its feasibility
Yes, sir.
report. They need to be done. But anyway, it's a matter of happiness that we have found out some
Yes,
resources.
sir. Lithium.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Now coming back to you are a wildlife enthusiast, and I find that you are very passionate about wildlife. A very good word that you are using. Very passionate. What do you mean by being a passionate?
Sir, uh, I regularly read about the issues that our wildlife is facing. I try to visit national parks as frequently as possible to
Good.
observe wildlife. And then, sir, I like to watch documentaries about wildlife. I also have recently started sketching wildlife, sir.
Hmm.
So that is how I am expressing my passion for wildlife.
Very good. If you are passionate about wildlife, you must read books written by Dr. S.S. Negi.
May I write it down, sir?
Yeah. Dr. Negi, Negi.
Yes, sir.
You can find this very interesting book on tiger.
Yes, sir.
Quite a large number of books. He is a retired Indian Forest Service officer. Of course, he is no longer available. He is dead. But he was very fascinating writer, particularly about wildlife. Very good.
I will definitely
Now,
give it a read, sir.
yeah, just read a
Thank
read.
you.
If somebody will ask you, because you may get a person working from the forest department. If you mention about Dr. Negi, because you're enthusiast, you should go through few books
Yes, sir.
written by some expert.
Yes, sir.
Then you understand what is the wildlife, how they behave,
Yes, sir.
why, what are the reasons for human-animal conflict, how they
Yes,
can
sir.
be ended, particularly elephant and man relationship.
Yes, sir.
The elephant whisperer, the documentary.
Yes,
Perhaps
sir.
I think you would have seen that. Did
Yes,
you
sir.
see that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Yeah. It's very fantastic how you can see how the love flourishes between a man and an animal is
Yes, sir.
more than what you can express in terms of a human being to another human being.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a very lovely episode. It should what you can able to explain to them.
Yes, sir.
And your interest goes to national life, wildlife sanctuaries, national parks.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to take you to Kuno National Park. Why should we
Yes, sir.
visit Kuno at this point of time?
Sir, recently African cheetahs have been reintroduced actually in our country, and they have been brought into the Kuno National Park. That is why
So
we should visit
we'll
there.
call it as a introduction or reintroduction.
Well, sir, there is a thin line that we have to walk here. Cheetahs did reside in our
Cheetah
country.
reintroduction is right,
Yes,
but
sir.
not what do you call we are not
Asian.
introducing the Asian cheetah.
Yes, sir.
We are bringing more stronger cousins
Yes, sir.
from Namibia,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Because they are
Yes,
more
sir.
stronger, more vulnerable,
Yes,
more
sir.
effective than vulnerabilities.
Yes,
That's why
sir.
they bring them, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
Kuno has been selected for this purpose. Why Kuno has been selected for this cheetah project?
Sir, because Kuno's geography and ecology is very similar to the savannas in which
Very
the cheetahs reside in Africa. That is the first point. Secondly, sir, before cheetah project was brought in, Kuno was supposed to hold lions that were to be transported from Gujarat. So because of that, the wildlife sanctuary, Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary, was changed into a national park, and due protection was awarded to it. So
very good.
due to this, it is a very suitable area for
Very
cheetahs to be reintroduced. Yes, sir. That is the
very
reason.
very good. For reintroduction, cheetah, Kuno is very good. And besides that, there are other national parks nearby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if they wanted to have larger area,
Yes, sir.
that area is also available. You have number of
Wildlife
national
sanctuaries and
parks,
national
wildlife
parks around it.
sanctuaries,
Yes, sir.
national parks are there. And you know what is the these keystone species, as you are aware, they command different areas. One cheetah commands nearly about how many kilometers?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not able to understand the
So
question here.
these keystone species like
Mm-hmm.
cheetah,
Mm-hmm.
they command certain areas
Yes, sir.
as their domain, territorial
Mm-hmm.
domain.
Mm-hmm.
Each cheetah requires certain areas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what is the area as an enthusiast? Can you
Sir,
recall?
sir, these are territorial animals for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Cheetahs are one of those who travel one of the longest distances
Yes.
actually. Their ranges are very long. I think so 21 kilometers or something was the
They call it.
diameter of that
They
area.
say it's 750
Square
kilometers,
kilometer.
square kilometers.
Square
They are
kilometers. Yes, sir.
one. They can dominate to that extent.
Yes, sir. Sir, I
And
was
like
mentioning the diameter, sir. I think that diameter of
maybe
it was something, and sir, that was one of the reasons that was recently being cited for the territorial fights that were happening between cheetahs and Kuno,
yes,
because the areas that they had in Africa were much larger, and
yes,
here we have concentrated a lot of cheetahs in a smaller area. That is why
yes,
recently a decision was taken to translocate some of the cheetahs to Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary nearby Kuno.
yes.
Yes, sir.
That was the reason to segregate because they used to higher geographical areas in
Yes, sir.
savanna
Yes, sir.
because those areas they find so naturally the conflicts comes.
Yes,
They
sir.
are not able to have the territory they wanted.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
what are some of the problems that cropped up initially in this cheetah project?
Sir, one of the problems was that some of the cheetahs were not able to adapt to the environment here initially, because that was natural, that was expected. A 50% mortality rate was initially expected because cheetahs were brought in from Africa, and then there were some issues for that. Second reason was, sir, that there some neck infections were found in some of the cheetahs, because of which they died, and radio collars were proposed as one of the reasons for this. And then, sir, third issue was some of the cheetah cubs died initially. So these were some of the issues that were faced. But now, sir, in recent times, recently there was a news that new cheetah cubs were born here as well to that
Three
cheetah
cups.
Asha. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes. Three cups were born. They were found out. That's why I
Yes,
said,
sir.
why should we go to
Yes, sir.
Kono National Park at this point of time?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
wanted to say, sir, now we have got three cups. So
Yes,
we
sir.
go and we can see them.
Yes, sir.
This is how you you are a very good, you are in very good conversation, right? So I like the way of your conversation.
Yes, sir.
Carry forward the same kind of a thing in your interview also.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
try to change. Some people will say, no, you don't talk this, that. No, you can always make a difference.
Yes, sir.
Person to person, there is always can be a difference.
Yes,
So
sir.
you are more knowledgeable person, you can exhibit your knowledge.
Yes,
But
sir.
have some more, because you are a wildlife enthusiast, when more number of questions can be asked
Yes,
from
sir.
wild.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So this cheetah project is under Tiger project. Am I right? Project Tiger.
Sir, I'm not sure. I think it's a
Yeah.
separate project, sir.
No. It's called a separate project. It comes under Tiger project, Project Tiger,
Okay, sir.
not under Project Elephant.
Yes, sir.
Because
Okay.
elephant is a different
Yes, sir.
keystone species.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Here,
sir.
they belong to lion.
Yes, sir.
Lion
Yes, sir.
family.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Cheetah
Yes,
belongs
sir.
to the 10 family,
Panthera.
lion families. Yeah. 10
Panthera
big
genus.
cats. Big
Yes, sir.
cats.
Yes,
Out
sir.
of 10 big cats, one of them. So this is come under that. And similarly, the entire organization was done by National Tiger
Conservation Authority.
Conservation Authority.
Yes, sir.
NTR,
NDCA.
NTCA, yeah.
Yes, sir.
National Tiger Conservation Authority.
Yes, sir.
NTCA.
Yes,
Very
sir.
good. So that's just information, for your
Yes, sir.
information.
Yes, sir.
And Kampa fund has been utilized for this project. Is it fair? Or it is justified?
Sir, Kampa was meant for afforestation efforts initially. But then, sir, a lot of funds were lying unutilized, as the CAG report pointed out, since the 1980s, since the Forest Conservation Act was brought in.
Yes.
So I think, sir, it is fair to utilize the funds here, but on the condition that afforestation efforts should not suffer dearth of funds because of this. Both of them should be balanced. I
Very
think
good.
that
Your answer is very good. But where the Kampa fund, afforestation, it also prevents deforestation.
yes, sir.
So where you are introducing the cheetah, they command a larger area, the
Okay.
wildlife.
Okay, sir.
So it becomes automatically, it preserves the poachers and others from this area.
Yes,
So
sir.
automatically, once the cheetahs are moving around,
Yes, sir.
the human movement inside will be less.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's the way
Yes,
of
sir.
protection. Another thing, they stabilize the prey base. Otherwise, the prey will increase.
Yes, sir.
Like
Yes, sir.
kind of your entire grassland will be eaten away.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You will have
That
a
is
lot
one.
of ecological issues will arise.
Yes, sir.
So that
Yes,
is
sir.
why you see, these are all the things I don't find anywhere from
Yes, sir.
somebody from Kampa is telling, but
Yes, sir.
some opinions expressed hither and there. No,
Yes,
so
sir.
we can always use our basic knowledge with our
Yes,
own
sir.
intelligent thinking on
Yes,
issues.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
that's why I'm asking this question about Kampa fund,
Yes,
because
sir.
you are an enthusiast.
Yes, sir.
And how do you think India will be able to manage the human-animal conflict?
Sir, we need to make efforts in this direction. So there are few steps that need to be taken. Firstly, sir, is preservation of our protected areas that we are doing and creation of buffer zones. But apart from this, sir, ecological corridors need to be preserved. That is one of the major reasons why human-animal conflict takes place, because many of our animals are migratory species. For example, elephants, as we were talking about, even tigers migrate from areas to areas. And that is why we need to protect these ecological corridors. Thirdly, sir, we need to learn to live with our wildlife. Our ancestors used to do that, and we need to formulate more sustainable livelihoods in a manner that we are able to live with our wildlife. So, creating awareness with respect to our wildlife could be one of the things. Our forest department needs to be empowered
Yeah,
financially as well as with respect to manpower, so that they can handle such issues if they prop up. I think
yeah,
that is how we can do that, sir.
very good, very good. When you are talking about the Wildlife Act, it was recently amended,
Yes, sir.
sometimes ago, maybe a couple of years ago,
Yes,
it was
sir.
amended.
Yes, sir.
What was the important, why that was amended, and what was the important changes that have been brought in?
Sir, the major reason for the amendment was to make it in consonance with the Convention on International Trades in Endangered Species, the CITES
Sites,
Convention.
sites, very good.
So that
That-
was why it was amended, sir. The
yeah,
major
very,
changes that were brought in was creation of a management authority, a scientific authority, so
yes,
that these endangered species, the trade can be regulated.
very good. So most important, every time international conventions have to be adopted separately.
Yes, sir.
This is the first time we are bringing where the sites in brought in as
Yes,
one
sir.
of the schedule.
Yes, sir.
Automatically, whenever the changes take place in international law, it
Yes,
becomes
sir.
applicable
Part of
nicely.
this. Yes, sir.
So that is how, what you call, you upgrade yourself. Your
Yes,
law
sir.
is just not merely catering to your local need, but
Yes, sir.
it is scaling up, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
can use those, as an enthusiast, you should say, sir, it is now scaled up to the international level.
Yes, sir.
We are
Yes, sir.
encompassing the Sites Act.
Yes, sir.
So, that is what we are doing in respect of PMLA Act, in
Yes, sir.
respect of, IT Act. You can see so many changes being brought in
Yes,
because
sir.
we wanted to scale up to international level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That you can always mention. Very good.
Yes,
You
sir.
have few more questions. Like number one, you worked in Coal India Limited.
Yes, sir.
Now, the government recently brought in 2020, I believe, the new coal policy.
Yes, sir.
So now, when we, on one side, we wanted to reduce the use of coal.
Yes, sir.
On another side, we are, using coal mining private. We are opening the coal mine to private sector.
Yes, sir.
How it is justified?
Sir, firstly, we are a developing nation and we have huge developmental responsibilities. We need to provide energy to our people, which is the basis of any economic growth. That is where, sir, we need to mine those because most of our electricity is coming from thermal power plants at the moment. We are deficient in oil. So that is how coal helps us reduce our import dependency. But I do understand the concern, sir, that coal is a polluting fossil fuel. Sir, for that, the government has taken various steps. So, for example, there is this clean coal mechanisms that
Hmm.
have been implemented in various thermal power plants, firstly. Secondly, sir, we have increased the percentage of renewable energy in our
Hmm.
overall energy mix. So now it constitutes around 40% is presently being brought in by the renewable energy sources as well. Sir, I think that gradually we are going to move away from coal, but
Yeah.
not until we are able to satisfy our developmental needs completely.
Very good. You can also, our energy sector is also very important. We need to have energy security.
Yes, sir.
So we are
Energy
now
security.
going for diversification to green hydrogen.
Yes, sir.
Away from the biofuel, we are going for biofuel, biomass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then we are utilizing. Then,
Yes, sir.
of course, renewable sources of energy,
Yes, sir.
wind, solar. So it's very important that for time being, we
Yes,
need
sir.
to go.
Yes, sir.
Allied with this, you have seen recently the COP28. We have witnessed an important thing, what is known as a global stock take.
Yes, sir.
You would have gone through that COP28, recently held in Dubai.
Yes, sir. But I'm
What is
sorry.
this global stock take? This is nothing
Sir,
but, you can understand, the global stock is that they are
yes, sir.
taking stock of what
Yes,
is
sir.
your promises
Yes,
made.
sir. Yes, sir.
The common and differentiated contributions,
Responsibilities.
country
Yes, sir.
responsibilities as
Yes,
per
sir.
the Paris Agreement.
Yes, sir.
How we are progressing, every country.
Yes,
First
sir.
time we are agreeing for what is called coming up with some data.
Yes, sir.
Whereas the developed countries so far, they are denying the benefits.
Yes,
Neither they
sir.
are providing finance nor technology transfer,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
isn't it? So that we
Yes,
can
sir.
always mention that country like developed countries like India, we require resources.
Yes, sir.
African countries, they require resources.
Yes, sir.
So there is $100 billion promised by Western countries,
The developed countries. Yes, sir. That is
but is
not
not
being
yet come.
mobilized yet. Yes, sir.
That we can, as a more informed person, you can
Yes, sir.
mention it.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it's all very fine. And I'll have one more question. In recent news, I saw there is an illegal migration. Illegal migration. But in the newspaper, it was there for about a couple of days of Indians.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not aware about this.
Yeah, you have been reading the newspaper. You will know there was a recent Shah Rukh Khan movie, Donkey.
Donkey. Yes, sir. So I know that there was this issue of Indians illegally moving from Mexico, from Central American countries to through Mexico towards the United States of America. That was the news that was out there. Yes, sir.
That is exactly the same. So it's something very important where some questions can be asked. This donkey route, donkey travel, from Punjabi is very popular,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Most of them are going from Gujarat and Punjab.
Punjab. Yes, sir.
Punjab.
Yes,
So
sir.
the government need to take certain measures.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
lack of employment,
Yes, sir.
lack of awareness,
Yes,
or
sir.
there is an illusion.
Yes, sir.
Instead of, these people can contribute their life here itself. Why should
Yes,
they
sir.
take out this
Mm,
kind of a route? And internationally, you have more than 1 lakh people without any papers in US.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So these are some of the issues that the government should take cognizance, because we need to have what you call Indian means they come with a proper document. They
Yes,
take
sir.
visa.
Yes,
Here,
sir.
they go to a country, they go to Nicaragua, they make false papers. There are a number of people who are operating on that
Yes,
way.
sir. There are illegal agents who are
Yeah,
operating this. Yes, sir.
we need to crack down on them, bring
Yes, sir.
them to
Yes,
our
sir.
books.
Yes,
So I
sir.
think
Yes, sir.
you can mention some of them.
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
We had
I
many
had read about this, sir, but I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not
equal.
able to think.
No, it's correct, because I am preparing already.
Yes,
Now I
sir.
am asking you the question.
Yes, sir.
So there is you cannot equate that.
Yes,
So
sir.
Jigasu, now is it the first interview for you?
No, sir. This will be my third interview.
Third interview. What went wrong?
Sir, mains. I was not getting.
Means,
Yes, sir. The marks up to up par with what is required. Sir, am I audible, sir?
yeah, main mark is a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wish that you get a better mark this time. And you have any other question to ask?
Yes, sir. I do have. Sir, with respect to hydrogeology, actually, this area was not mentioned in my DAF prior to this in my
Yeah.
previous interviews.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sir, so I want to understand
Yeah.
what should I prepare with respect to this? What kind of questions can be asked?
Yeah, because I'm not good at geology, but what you can do is you can just brush up your basic definitions and basic issues. Then you can find out what are the issues relating to India, present problem.
Yes, sir.
Like what we have seen, the problems that you mentioned about glacier problem, then relating to how the GSI functioning. Somebody can ask you, Geological Survey of India, what is that functioning? How can they do very well? What are the problems
Sir,
India is
may
facing?
I add a
How
point here,
can
sir?
handle them?
May I add
Yeah,
something
please.
here, sir?
Yes, true. Please.
Sir, hydrogeology is mainly concerned with exploration of groundwater
Yes.
and utilization of groundwater. And sir, I want the members to ask me questions specific to this. I thought that groundwater is a very prominent area of concern in our country presently.
Yes.
So, sir, if someone, if should I explain to the people, the panel members, that what a hydrogeologist does
Yes.
in my introduction
Yeah.
itself?
If suppose
I'm sorry, sir.
somebody
There's a lot
has
of
worked in that
disturbance, sir, in the video. I'm really sorry about this.
yeah, I think you can, uh, but you are able to hear, right? Audibility is no problem.
I am now able to hear you, sir.
Yeah, very good. So the issue is that there maybe you do not know whether you are getting an army person sitting in the board, forest officer, or maybe a civil servant, IAS officer. You do not know who is going to be, maybe a vice chancellor. You
Yes, sir.
don't know. Suppose
Yes,
an
sir.
expert in the water,
Yes,
drinking
sir.
water,
Yes, sir.
or who has already worked in this area.
Yes, sir.
Such a person can ask you direct question. Otherwise, if you want them to ask question, you are fully prepared. You can say that in some of your answer, I said, you put it as a tag at the end of your answer. So automatically you can expect a query. What do you mean? What are your understanding? How do you think that we can preserve water? Because we have our Nal Se Jal, so we have Har Ghar Jal. There are a number of
Yes, sir.
water issues are there, right? We have done
Yes, sir.
quite a bit, but still, how we can maintain them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not good at that. Somebody can ask you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you want, you can, in your answer, you can at the end you can add it.
Yes,
You
sir.
have seen that I have taken many questions from your answers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can put those things that you can come as an answer. Next question to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Anything
Thank
else?
you so much. Thank you so much,
Okay.
sir.
Very good. Very good. My feedback that you are very good in your knowledge, basic knowledge, communication skill, your presentation, pleasant. You are very being pleasant right from the beginning. You are very pleasant, attentive. You are understanding the question. If you don't understand, you have no hesitation in asking. And if you want to add, you are always ready to add. These are all your plus points. Where I could find some concern. The concern is long answers.
Okay, sir.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can.
Yeah.
I can.
The concern
Long
is long
answers is one
answers.
of the concern.
You can
Yes, sir.
try.
Yes,
That's
sir.
only one concern. Otherwise, I don't find any problem. You can have a cakewalk. Whatever you got earlier, I think it should get somewhere around 190.
Thank you, sir. I'll try to do my best, sir.
You will do it. You will do it. And we at KingMakers IAS Academy will be ready to help you out either with your DAF or with any of your current affairs questions you have. You can come back to us. We are always ready to help.
All right, sir.
Now
Thank
it
you
is
so much.
time for you to record your observation about the program.
Yes, sir. Sir, should I say it now?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir.